All right. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. So why don't we get ready to, let's settle in and take a couple deep breaths. If you can close the door over there, somebody I would appreciate that, so we can get started. So I'll be playing a little bit of meditative music. So take a few deep breaths, and let's take a moment to go within, into this space. Let's settle into the present and leave all your troubles behind. Release and allow your breath to guide you inward to a place of peace, stillness, and connection.
In this stillness, in the power of spirit, love surrounds us. For we are one. We stand in the strength and wholeness of peace. Peace in our world, peace in us, peace in what we do. This day is blessed with joyful giving, with harmonious sound, and the beauty of oneness. And as we celebrate this day together, I invite you to close. And so it is.
No. Good morning, everybody. How are you? Excuse me. Well, I'm Pat Clark. I'm one of the practitioners here at the center, and I get to host today. So it is a pleasure to do that, to be able to host all of you, my spiritual family, my CSLTV homies. I'm really, really feeling fortunate to be a part of this wonderful community. From where I'm standing, the God in me recognizes the God in you. Now, our Center for Spiritual Living Temecula Valley is affiliated with the religious science or science of mind. And our founder, Ernest Holm, established religious science in 1926. He taught that diversity and inclusion are divine rights, rooted in the spiritual principles that all people are individualizations of the one divine mind. So what we believe here is that we are all one and everyone is welcome here. Dr. Holmes emphasized that though we are all united as one with spirit, unity does not mean uniformity. Each of us was created to be our own individual, whole, perfect, and complete part of the whole, united and working for a world that embraces peace, harmony, and mutual respect. So now I want to take a minute to welcome any newcomers we have here. If you are of a mind to, you are welcome to stand and say hi or raise your hand so that we know you're here. Any newcomers, first, second, or third time? Ooh, look, we got a couple of people. Wow, 3 new people. Well, excellent. We're so glad you're here. And we want to make sure that if you didn't already get the newcomers packet, you did, everybody got that, so you're all set. All right, and our Reverend Charlene is not here today, but when you come back next week, and I hope you will, please make sure you introduce yourself to her because she always wants to know our new folks, and all of our existing folks can tell you how involved she is with the community. So welcome. Okay. Now, I also have to say hello to our online people. There's no sharks today, right? Okay. Oh, there it is. Okay, well, I didn't get any music, so I'll just say, welcome online. We're glad you're here, and it's always nice to know that you're part of the community, even though you're not in the room. We know that your energy is with us. I wanted to let you know that, this service, as all services, takes a lot of commitment from a lot of people, including our volunteers. So you met our volunteers at the door, our ambassadors, Sky and Doug. And we have our wonderful music director, Diego. And don't you just love it when he plays that flute? That was so nice. Thank you. And we have our guest musician, James Higgins, returning for the second time. Really glad he's here. And finally, I have to bring up a special person because what we missed last week because of Easter service. We missed the birthday king. So we're going to invite Reverend Michael up. I don't have your crown, Michael. Oh! To our birthday king.
So I've been crowned. Good morning, everyone. How's everyone doing? All right, that's good. It's good to hear. And so now we're all going to celebrate the April babies, okay? So if you were born in April, you're going to have to be brave enough to stand up so we can celebrate you. Okay, hey. Okay, so do we have an accompanying? We're going to have to do a cappella. Okay, so everyone's going to have to join me, okay, in singing happy birthday. Are we ready? Yeah. A one, a two, a three. Happy birthday to you. Got to stand up. Stand up to you. Happy birthday, April babies. Happy birthday to you. And many more. Hey, thank you. You're in great voice today, and hope to see you next month again where we can do this again, okay? So thank you. You can uncrown me now. Uncrown me.
Okay. He said I can uncrown him. All right, you're uncrowned for another 30 days. All righty, so now it's time for a spiritual reading from our beloved Janie.
I love the opportunity that we have at this center to get a kind of a first time. Yes, this week I got a notice that we're going to talk about growth and vulnerability. And I get to choose the reading. It's amazing. I just opened up, looked at a couple things, and this one showed up. I love magic. Spirit is magic. So this reading is by Shona Kichi, and it starts with, the universe is urging a fearless inventory of your soul. What lies beneath your polished facade? How much longer will you hide your vulnerabilities, convinced that they weaken you? It's precisely those tender spaces, your perceived imperfections, where real strength and powerful connections reside. This idea was a call to embrace what I had been hiding, to confront the vulnerabilities I've been avoiding. It challenged me to take risks, to trust someone who genuinely deserves it, to allow myself to depend on another without the armor of skepticism. It asked me to listen not only to my heart, but also to the deeper truths of my spirit, and to bravely express my true desires. A few days later, a situation arose that forced me to put this into practice. Instead of defaulting to frustration or self-justification, I paused, assessed, and chose to respond differently. Though very uncomfortable, this pause allowed me to connect with a part of myself that had been buried beneath the chaos of past reactions. By approaching this situation as something new, an act of vulnerability in itself, rather than dismissing it as just another familiar bit of nonsense, I released how much room there is for growth in those very uncomfortable moments. This reflection on vulnerability led to a deeper conversation with a very close friend of mine, one that challenged me to examine the nuances that I hadn't fully looked at before. My friend views vulnerability as a core part of connection, believing that sharing openly and often fosters authenticity and growth, both individually and in relationships. For them, embracing vulnerability is a strength, a way to break through barriers and truly see what others beneath the surface might be. However, I approach vulnerability with more caution. For me, it's not about blanket openness, but rather a deliberate choice. It's a balance between being true to myself and knowing when to protect certain parts of my inner world. Over time, I've learned that vulnerability isn't something to share indiscriminately. Instead, it's about discerning when and where it's safe to open up. This isn't rooted in fear, but in wisdom and self-preservation, ensuring my energy and emotional space are protected. And so it is.
Thank you, Janie. Page 2. Okay, so I want to say just a couple of things before we introduce our guest musician. I think was it about a month or two ago was the first time that we heard James Higgins, and we were all really, really impressed, thrilled by his wonderful voice and his soulful presentation. And when I was looking over the plans for today and saw the song that was being presented, I thought, oh, I love that song. And then when I saw who was singing it, I was just really thrilled. So James Higgins is just a wonderful musician. We feel very blessed that he's here with us again. I'd like to introduce James Higgins.
Thank you. And good morning. When I walked through the door, I felt God's presence, and I knew this was a place where love abounds. For this is a temple, the God that we love abides here. Oh yes, God does. For we are standing in God's sweet presence on a holy ground. We are standing on a holy ground, and I know that there are angels all around. Let us praise God right now. Praise God right now. For we are standing in God's sweet presence on holy ground. In God's presence, I know that there is joy beyond all measure. And with God's love, sweet peace of mind can still be found. For when we have a need, God is still the answer. Oh, yes, God is. Oh, we are standing in God's sweet presence on a holy ground. We are standing on a holy ground, and I know that there are angels around. Let us praise God right now. Praise God right now. Oh, we are standing in God's sweet presence on a holy ground. We are standing on a holy ground, and I know that there are angels around. Let us praise God right now. Oh, we are standing in God's sweet presence on holy ground. Holy ground.
See, I told you. Thank you, James. So now it is time for our speaker. Now, she's not going to give me a chance to say things about her. But you know we have to say something about our teacher of teachers, right? So Ms. Beth Haase, one of our, I know many of you have had classes with her, have had an opportunity to hear her speak before, always filled with wisdom and love. I can't wait to hear what you have to say today. Beth Haase.
Good morning. Let me make sure I have my technology, which is known as a clicker. And the real technology is my glasses, so I can see. Some can relate. Thank you. That was beautiful. That reminded me what this is really all about, that we're standing on holy ground. And embracing vulnerability is part of that agreement we have made to be here. So, am I doing the slides though, right? I would like to do the slides. I've been rehearsing the slides, so very good. Okay. So the talk title, that we get these titles from Home Office for the organization, from the Centers for Spiritual Living. They send it out for the whole year, a theme for the year, the month, and then they break it down for week. And so I always look ahead when Charlene asks if I can do it. And I was like, embracing vulnerability? What? Sort of, you know, and then as a path to growth. And I thought, okay, I'm going to trust that what comes in and through me is exactly what needed to. And of course it does. That message usually arrives 2:17 a.m. because that's when my muses love to visit. So this is what came along with that. So embracing vulnerability as a path to growth. That's what we're going to look at and dance with today. Here's the part that came in, the tagline that kind of defines it, because it spoke to me too. Wait. You mean I still don't know everything? Because I think when we start to take classes and we come find our centers and we find our self and our path, there's a tendency to kind of think, I got it, I know it all. What else could I possibly learn? And then life says, really? You sure you want to ask that question? Because there's always more to learn. That's what we're here to do. And when we're complete in our curriculum, we shall, in the way we look at it as far as science of mind is concerned, we then just graduate to the next experience where there's more to learn. So today's talk, embracing vulnerability as a path to growth, because we still have more to learn. So here we go. And, oh, wait, I wanted to finish this because I had a little pithy part there too. So sorry, I don't have my glasses on. All right, so what I would like to invite you to welcome you is that this is the sacred space of vulnerability. It is where we allow ourselves to be seen for who we are. Janie introduced this beautifully. Vulnerability means we let people see who we are. And that sometimes means we show up not knowing the answers, not knowing what we're doing, not knowing how it's going to turn out, and we show up anyway. That's vulnerability. I see some heads nodding. So I think that we have these life experiences. So welcome to the sacred space of vulnerability. So hold on, sorry. I've not got the technology down, which is move the paper so I can see everything. So love me through it. All right, here we go. And I'm a lefty, so I'm thrown up. Everything has to come through the left-handed side, so. All right, so we're going to start, as we often do, with a quote from Ernest Holmes. Oop, here we go. Whoa, oh, it's so fancy. Why is it so funky? What is going on? I don't know. I'll read it. You get half. So did it come in? Technology. Charlene says the same thing, so you love us anyway. All right, so I'm going to read the quote, and it may or may not fill out, and it's fine. So Ernest Holmes, Science of Mind, founder of this philosophy 100 years ago, and he was able to explain things in a way that have carried across a century and beyond, as far as understanding how to walk this path. So one of the things that I wanted to start with is this reminder from him. The great identification then is to come to believe with absolute certainty that there is something in you that is divine. It is eternal. It is transcendent. Gradually chip away everything that would hide the sight of the integrity of your own soul. It is the only thing you have. It is the only thing you brought with you. It is the only thing you will take with you into the beyond, is your soul. To thine own self be true. That is the starting point. Trust yourself. Believe in yourself because you believe in God. And so this is 100 years ago, they didn't maybe quite have the word vulnerability yet as a vocabulary term, and yet that's exactly what this is, trusting ourselves, believing in ourselves, being true to ourselves, instead of trying to be what others have projected. And so this idea of embracing vulnerability starts with this reminder that we came with this soul. We will leave with this soul. It is here to learn what it's here to learn. And so this is the way to understand why we embrace this rather than try to pretend. So may I introduce to you, and perhaps you know her and perhaps you do not, Brene Brown. Brene Brown is modern day. She is kind of, here's what I came up with. I was quite pleased. This was after the splashdown on Friday. She's the astronaut for vulnerability. As she began to study, she's a social scientist. She's very renowned in this field of vulnerability. She started looking at shame and trying to figure out how shame influences how people go through life. And she began to see the connection between shame and vulnerability. When we can be vulnerable, the shame moves out of the shadows and is gone. So we hide our shame. We all have something there. We don't, oh, if you only knew that about me, you wouldn't think I was that cool, kinds of things. And so she began to study this, and what she learned is this. Now, hopefully this will work. Slide number 2. Yes. So what Brene Brown is reminding all of us, and she does in many books, one of my favorite books from her is Dare to Lead. It means leading with who we are. And what she says and has been saying now for a decade plus is our society believes vulnerability is a weakness. If little boys raised, don't cry, don't show your feelings, be tough, be a man, kinds of things. Little girls, you're supposed to be very prim and proper and perfect, right? Brene Brown came out 10 plus years ago, shooting from the hip, saying vulnerability is not weakness. It is our greatest measure of courage. Think about the times you've dropped the pretense and showed up. So this idea of embracing it from a spiritual, walking a spiritual path means it's not weak to be vulnerable. That's what Janie was reading. It allows us to be ourselves, our unique selves. And in the doing, we are aligned. We are congruent. So how I was thinking about this as I was putting together is this. Vulnerability is not weakness. I'm not bettering Brene. I admire her in all things that come out from her. But I was trying to kind of think how I wanted to present this. Vulnerability is not weakness, it's wisdom. So our younger selves adopted strength of the strength of a mask. As we were little, we learned to put on our mask. We learned to create a persona. Think about the swagger when you were going into high school, like I'm cool, I'm tough, I'm this, I'm that, right? We adopted walls so that we couldn't be hurt. So our younger self adapted and adopted strength, the essence or the projection of strength, which we thought was how to not be perceived as weak. Our wiser selves, our wisdom keepers, who we are today, have learned the power of authenticity. So that is the way through to be, vulnerability is the way to authenticity. If I can be who I am and not pretend, that's my authentic self showing up. And so that's what kind of came to me around this, is embracing this, is allowing that wisdom keeper inside, that wiser self, not the one learning all those lessons of being in elementary and middle school and the Shark Tank of life and then high school and even a young adult. It's learning that who we are is precious, and here's why. I love this one. Please let it show up. Yes. Have you heard of this? This is called the Japanese technique of how to deal with broken pottery. It's called kintsugi. It is the art and the technique of taking a piece of broken pottery that most would say, well, it's broken, it's ruined, it's not perfect anymore. And these artists, these masters, these wise people saw that there was a way to make it even better. So what they do is they fill the cracks with gold. That's the art of kintsugi. We are the pot. We are the breaks, and we are the seams of gold that bring it to beauty in even more interesting ways. This tells the story of this pot's life. Our stories, our mistakes, our vulnerabilities tell the stories of our lives. We have to let go of the idea that we're supposed to hide them. That's what embracing vulnerability really means. So we're going to go back to another Ernest Holmes quote now. I'm getting good at this. Although I'm doubting it every time. Notice that I'm like, okay, it went. All right. That's me in technology. That's my vulnerability. See? I'm strong because I can say, not much. I'm courageous. Yeah. This is also a quote from Ernest Holmes, which I think fits this idea. I want to kind of try to build how to embrace this instead of saying, yeah, but. You know, I have people that expect me to be tough and wise and all that. So Ernest Holmes says this: there is within us something deeper, higher, finer, and broader than what we think. There is within us something which can never want, something which cannot be sick, something which cannot suffer pain, which knows no fear and will never taste of death. It is an immortal principle which triumphs over everything that is human, weak, finite, and frail. So when you were little and kids made fun of you and you thought that was defining who you were, it was not. It was strengthening you. That principle never breaks. We just don't get reminded of that until we get to be the wisdom keepers that we are now. And somebody comes up here and says, I don't like technology, but let's do it anyway. So, embracing no, I say no to that one. Embracing vulnerability. I shouldn't say no because the universe will be like, oh man, we got a lesson for you. Wait till tomorrow. COVID came along when I was teaching Pat Clark's practitioner class. We went on spring break. I said, okay, guys, I'll see you in a week. COVID came along. We did not come back in a week, and I had to find out about something called Zoom and teach class on Zoom. So that was my learning lesson with technology, and I embraced it eventually. So I'm being very vulnerable up here. That's part of the demonstration, right? So, embracing technology, let's look at nature as our teacher. So I love nature. That's just kind of how I understand the whole way of this, is to look at the lessons, the messages, the reflections, the mirrors are in nature. And then I can look at my human self and kind of see how this all makes sense. So we're going to start with the concepts, some concepts, 3. I'm a teacher, so 3. The concepts to embracing vulnerability. Number 1, remove your armor. Janie read that, removing the armor. Meet the armadillo. All right, armadillo comes from, it's part of the armor. Do you know, are you familiar with armadillos? They are so darling in their armorness, right? They exist in in the Southwest here, mostly down in Texas. If you've ever been through Texas, you may or may not have gotten a chance. Armadillos are armored. You can see it. From the tips of their ears to the tips of their tails, they have these spiny plates. They're fierce looking. Who's going to mess with an armadillo, right? But here's the thing. So part of vulnerability is you got to take the armor off. We armor up. Brené Brown talks about this. We go into battle by armoring up. All right, I've got my script. I know what I'm going to say. I'm going to best them. We're meeting in the arena. Remove the armor. Because here's the thing about armadillos. They look fierce. And yet here is their sole defense, complete. By nature, wisdom of nature, evolution, all that stuff. That's it. They curl up in a ball. They bring all their soft parts in, the armor protects them, and then they pray to the armadillo gods that the predator leaves. That's their defense. The armor serves no purpose. So this is understanding that when we armor up as humans, thinking that'll do it, I got to go into this really awkward conversation, and I'm going to armor up. I'm going to walk in with my swagger and my power suit, and I'm going to have all this stuff, right? And then we hope against all odds that they don't call us on it. So removing our armor is part of embracing vulnerability. Take it off, leave it at home. It doesn't serve a purpose. Armadillo will remind you of that if you forget. The next one, concepts to embracing vulnerability. Remove your masks. We are adept at our masks. I know that I can, well, in fact, a phrase I hear myself use a lot, and I don't know if it's to my detriment or my praise, I'm not sure, is I rearranged my face. I was a facilitator for a lot of years. I learned how to listen to things that on the inside I might have been going, but I learned how to create a neutral face. In that setting, it was appropriate. In a personal setting, if I have no reaction, what message is that sending? So removing our masks is part of embracing vulnerability. That means letting go of those things you learned when you were a teenager, how to look a certain way and adopt a certain attitude by facial expression. And here's the reason why. The real you is beautiful and filled with gold, just like the Japanese pottery, the kintsugi. So when we allow our self to show, and sometimes that may signal, or we are afraid that it's going to signal, and yet that's how we embrace, we show up. What's going on? Well, I can tell by your face something's going on, and be able to connect that and to align in that. So the third one, I'm going to read it and then I'll show you the picture because it kind of goes together. In concepts of embracing vulnerability is to see yourself as you see yourself, not as others see you. And here's why. You may be on the outside a kitten, or people think you are, but inside you may say, I am a lion heart. But maybe your whole life has been people saying, you need to act this way, you need to show up this way, you need to not let people see that, etc. So one of the concepts to embracing vulnerability is to see yourself as you see yourself, and not let others' projections be what you're following or what you're letting guide you. That kitten sees a lion. So the question is, I'm sure you're asking yourself, okay, this is kind of cool. I like that armadillo guy. He was pretty cute. So what is awaiting me if I step through this door? If I put down my armor, I take off my mask, I adjust the mirror image to how I see myself. What is awaiting me if I step through this door of embracing vulnerability, which I've always believed was a sign of weakness? Hold on, I have to get I got all caught up in the pictures. So I'm going to read this quote, which I went back and found because I think it ties, it's again my girl crush, Brené Brown, in her book Dare to Lead. She says this: joy is the most vulnerable emotion we feel. And that's saying something, given that I study fear and shame. When we feel joy, it is a place of incredible vulnerability. It is beauty, it's fragility, it's deep gratitude, it's impermanence. And that's all wrapped up in one experience. So we are feeling the absolute essence of bliss. But when we can't tolerate that feeling or that level of vulnerability, like, oh, a lot of us have a belief in there, the shoe's going to drop, I shouldn't be feeling this happy, something's going to come along, I'm going to be smacked down for feeling it, right? So when we can't tolerate that level of vulnerability of feeling so joyful and blissful, joy actually begins to feel foreboding. And we immediately move, like the armadillo, to self-protection. It's as if we grab vulnerability by the shoulders and say, you will not catch me off guard. You will not sucker punch me with pain. I'm prepared. There's the mask. There's the armor. So that's Brené reminding us that vulnerability is joy in its essence, and yet we're afraid of it. So then she goes on to say this: Owning our story can be hard. Owning our story, telling people who we are. Here I am. This is my kintsugi pot. It's filled with gold, but you may not see it. Maybe all you see are the cracks. Owning our story can be hard, but not nearly as difficult as spending our lives running from it. Embracing our vulnerabilities is risky, but not nearly as dangerous as giving up on love and belonging and joy. The experiences that make us the most vulnerable. Only when we are brave enough to explore the darkness will we discover the infinite power of our own light. You are that beautiful pot, gold filling cracks and all. We tend to hide our stories. We tend to show up the way we think people want to see us. Embracing who we are allows us to feel that joy of authenticity. We stand on sacred ground. The song was perfect. We stand on sacred ground. We're here to stand on sacred ground. We invite and make welcome others to do the same. We embrace our paths of growth. We become a little braver each time we do so. A little braver. I showed up, and I like who I was. We at last recognize our inherent worth. This is what happens when we choose to embrace it, the vulnerability. We honor our seams of gold. So this last slide is one that touches my heart. It did from the very first time I encountered it. It does. I went and looked for it because I want to end with this. I love the concept. I want to remind you. I want to invite you. I want to encourage you. I guess I should show you the slide with that build-up. When people allow you to know about their pain and talk about it, take your shoes off. It is a holy place. Be humble, be kind. When someone shows you vulnerability. And so my question to you, will you go first? And so it is. And now we have James. We're back to James. Thank you. Thank you all for loving me through my vulnerability. Thank you. You have your own. All right.
All is good with God. Trust and you will see. We pledge a vow to stay in love with God, we say. 'Cause all is changed with time. The future none can see. But when all is put away, the losing side I play. 'Cause all is good with God. On my knees at night I pray for a writer to take his pen and write these words again. is a chance. It's either good or bad. I release this prayer today for peace on earth. I pray, 'cause all in war is so cold. You either win or lose, but when all is put away, on my knees at night I pray, 'cause all is good with God. On my knees at night I pray for a writer to take his pen and write these words again, that all is good with God. A writer will take his pen to write these words again, that all is good with God. Thank you.
So, where else can you go to get spiritual uplift and really good music? Thank you, James. I hope you'll come back again. Thank you to our talented music director for arranging some fabulous presentations for us here. And Ms. Beth Haase. She was my practitioner instructor, and you know, she probably witnessed a lot of times when I was feeling vulnerable. But I remember that our teacher of teachers could also be vulnerable, like she talked about today. And the first time Charlene said, you know, you can give a talk. And Beth said, oh no. But she stepped forward and she tried it. And every time that she gets up here and talks, doesn't she get better and better and better? So thank you for being vulnerable. Now, it is time. You know what time it is. It's time for our offering. And what I'd like to say is how important it is to maintain the programs, the presentations, the community outreach. To maintain all of that, it takes money. And it is my pleasure to share my experience, strength, and treasure with this community. And so I hope that, I know that a lot of you are tithers who give on, a lot of you a monthly basis, have it set up through a lot of different ways to do that. And we really appreciate your contributions, so thank you for that. When the plate goes around, I know that some of you are actually putting money in. We appreciate that. Thank you very much. And those, a lot of you who are tithers, will just kind of raise your hands over it, sending good wishes as to where that money is going to go and what it's going to do. So I want to thank all of you for helping our spiritual community to grow. Because you know that our end plan is to move to our own facility. And so we are, whenever we can, putting money aside to make that happen. So your money is going to a good place. We appreciate that. And what I'm going to do right now is to ask our ambassadors to come forward. Sky and Doug, would you please come forward? And I am going to ask all of you to join us with our affirmation of abundance. We'll put our spiritual minds together, and in oneness, we're going to make these things happen. So divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am prosperous now. Now our song, while our ambassadors come through.
God is my source, God is my power, God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings, God gives me everything I need. God is my source, God is my power, God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings, God gives me everything I need. God is my source, God is my power, God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings, God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings, God gives me everything I need.
Okay. Where are we now? Well, you know what it's time for? Tag! Peg McLaughlin is going to read our announcements.
Thank you, Pat. All right, CSLTV announcements of the day. So the tax deadlines are upon us, and your 2025 charitable giving letters are in the office ready to pick up. Today's the 12th, you guys. Go get them. CSLTV Board thanks you for your continued giving and support of our center. Please let that giving support you in your tax reductions. On May 17th, we will eat a yummy brunch in the social hall, and then CSLTV Board of Trustees and Reverend Charlene will be hosting the annual meeting. We will gather to review 2025, our successful programs like education, youth and family, our financial status, and we will be voting on one open board position. So to speak more about what it means to be a board member, I'd like to welcome up Pam Migliosi.
Thank you, Peg. Well, I was asked to join the board in March of 2025 to fill a vacant seat. And I can truly say it has been a blessing. We have dedicated individuals who just give their time, their love, their commitment to the growth and the development and the expansion of this holy ground. So I just invite anyone who is considering, please see Susan Cole. Susan is going to be kind of the point person, and please see her if with any questions you have for more information, and I really invite you to consider taking on and putting in your application with the commitment that I love where I am. I want to see this center grow. I want to see us expand throughout the Temecula Valley. Thank you so much.
Go ahead and stay.
Shall I go ahead? Okay, now I'm going to continue because this is really exciting. Now, I know last week there was a brief announcement about Gourmets for God for 2026. And we're doing it again because we had so much fun doing it last year. I would like to introduce our 2026 committee, if I may. And please stand. Bonnie Mraz, Burl Ann Crutchley, Monica DeRuiter, and Cecilia Haase. Now, who could not be with us today is Letitia Germain, but she is also going to be on our committee. So we're going to be hanging around in the social hall for the next 8 weeks or so, and just doing everything we can to encourage all of you to really participate in this wonderful fundraiser. So, many of you are aware of what Gourmets for God is, but some of you may not be. So, if you attended a Gourmets for God event in the past, please raise your hand. Want to say thank you for your contributions. Did you have a good time? Yeah. Bet you did, right? Have a good time? And if you hosted an event, please stand and say thank you. We want to thank you, each of you, for hosting an event. Last year, we had 10 wonderful, creative, absolutely beautiful events. So we have a goal. Wouldn't it be great this year to do maybe 15 or more? 15 or more. We've grown this year. We think we can do it. Now, for those of you that may be unfamiliar with Gourmets for God, well, what is this? What are you talking about? It's a party. It's an event. It's a great way to support our center. Our official kickoff will be April 19th, when sign-ups to host an event will begin. Well, what is it? It's anything you wish. A few ideas. Backyard barbecue, which Peg and Jim did last year. Game night, dinner party, bunko night, a Hawaiian luau. How about a 50s dance? And our very own Sarah had a huge pizza night at her home and a pool party. So how many people should I invite? What do? You can invite 6, 8, 10, 12, whatever you feel that you can accommodate for your event. You'd like to host, but you have a place that isn't large enough. Moi, Nick and I. So consider co-hosting. There may be someone that has the home. You go in with them, you co-host, you do it together. I know Monica supported Sue Harshman last year for their beautiful Cuban night, and I heard it was a wonderful success. Now, here's the really exciting news for 2026, and I want you to really think about this. I believe we all agree that moving into our permanent home will enable us to grow and expand. I invite you to envision a youth church with rooms to accommodate all ages of children, to accommodate our teens, our young adults. Envision more space for workshops, classes, education. Envision our very own kitchen and our social hall. Envision a sanctuary that doesn't have to be put together and taken down every single week. How do we do it? We donate, we grow. So, to help us achieve this goal, our wonderful, beloved Reverend Charlene has said 100% of the donations for Gourmets for God for this year go straight to the building fund. Okay? We need you. We need you. So, host sign-up dates are going to take place on the following Sundays, officially, April 19th, 26th, May 3rd, and May 10th. However, I've got some forms available today if you want to come see me for more information about hosting our eager beavers. And our bidding process will then begin on 4 consecutive Sundays, May 24th, May 1st, June 7th, and June 14th. And your committee will be available in the social hall beginning next Sunday through June 14th to answer your questions and assist with host signups and the building and the bidding process. This is such an exciting time when everyone will be able to bid on an event that they would like to attend. The events will begin in July and run through October. The host and hostess select the date. So Gourmet for Gods is a wonderful way to spend time with your own CSLTV beloveds, raise funds toward the move to our new permanent home. And we've got an interest list in the breezeway. If you want to be contacted for more information, please put your name on there, and I will give you a call, and we can talk about it. And we have flyers that are on the tables right now in the social hall. So thank you, and let's go. Let's have those 15 or more parties. Thank you.
Thank you, Pam. All right, where are we at here? Okay. Lorelei, would you like to come up and talk about the Essential Ernest Holmes class starting on Tuesday?
I would like to get up and talk about the Essential Ernest Holmes class. The Essential Ernest Holmes class, it is starting on Tuesday. We have a robust group of participants, and we would love to have you join us if you are thinking that that's something that you want to jump into. So it lasts for 5 weeks, starting Tuesday, 6 to 8:30 every week. The title is Essential Ernest Holmes. And I just a little tidbit that struck me this morning as I was getting really caught up in the Artemis II astronauts speaking of their experience. And I watched them really grappling for the words of this profound experience that they had. And what struck me, what I received in them trying to come to terms and explaining this was they connected with divine love and oneness at such a profound level. And while we don't all get the opportunity to go up to space to connect with that divine love and oneness, we all have access to it within us. And that is really what this course is about. It is using the teachings of Ernest Holmes and the science of mind to learn how to take that dive into the cosmos within us and to connect to that divine love and oneness. And we would love to have you join us. So if that's something that inside you're going, oh yes, yes, please put your name out on the sign-up sheet out in the breezeway, and we will make sure you get all the materials. You are not too late. You are right on time.
All righty. So next Sunday, April 19th, Monica and the hospitality team will be hosting their third Sunday themed brunch, and this month's theme is Tea Dance. This will be a fun 1940s style lunch with tea sandwiches and canapes, big band music, and maybe a dance lesson from Monica. So please see her list in the social hall of complimentary side dish ideas to bring, and even if you can't look at the list, bring something, just add to the mix and we will have a good party. Also on April 19th, which is next.
Can I say something?
Oh yeah, sure.
Thank you. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Hello. So I just wanted to add to the event for next week. I am looking for volunteers for some help. This is quite an event and there's quite a bit of prep and breakdown to do. I'm looking for volunteers that'll help set up, break down and clean up, but also I'm looking for a few volunteers that can help assemble the tea sandwiches. Tea sandwiches can't be done in advance. We've got to do it just before so they don't get mushy. but I'll have everything ready, and it's just assembling. So if you're interested in volunteering, a little bit of a helping hand, see me after the service today. And also, Pam had mentioned it, I'm not, as far as Gourmet for God, I am not in a position to host myself, but I am more than willing and happy and look forward to assisting anybody that feels it might be a little overwhelming to run a host, run a part themselves, and I'd be happy to assist, to co-host with you. Okay. Thank you. I'm so sorry.
That's great. Thank you. Thanks, Monica. All right. So also next Sunday, April 19th at 6:30 p.m., the Interfaith Council of Marietta and Temecula Valley will present their annual Night of Gratitude and Music at Grace Presbyterian Church in Temecula. Our very own practitioner, Lorelei Newman, will be speaking on gratitude, and our director of music, Diego Mondragon, will be providing some of the music. So lots of good reasons to come. I'm sure there's lots going to be just an amazing night. So come and check it out. There are flyers with more information on the activity table. The Gifts of Spirit group will be holding a rehearsal for their variety show after today's service and will not hold their general meeting this Monday. They will resume their Monday meetings on May 11th. And I would like to invite Karen Temple up. Is Karen here? To talk about our recycling program. Clap, 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 clap.
Hello, everyone. First off, I want to say thank you to everyone who's been participating in the recycling program. We have gathered $600 worth of recycling credit money from the deposits. We take glass, all colors of glass. We take the aluminum cans and plastic bottles that are the California CRV. Only thing I'm asking is, try to make them dry, try to make sure they're emptied out, If you can come up with a recycled bag, we're getting more containers for you to dump your stuff into and use less plastic. This program goes to our new building fund. I don't know if you guys realize that, but it's been a continuing collection to go towards the new building. And whenever you're recycling and whenever you're gathering your stuff, just think about the creation of the new building. Like the cans are going to get recycled into nails, or maybe the glass into new windows for the youth to have windows in their room and whatnot. But I just wanted you to know we're collecting every week, and I just really want to say thank you. No tuna cans. There's a few things we don't collect. I don't take your green waste. I got a couple of green waste, lettuces and stuff. That wasn't fun, but I dealt with it. It's not a problem. Just a snippet about me. I have been recycling my whole life. I started out in a machine shop, and I was allowed to play with the damaged parts, so I was making sculptures and figuring out what I could make in my life. So recycling's really something that's been a part of me for a long time, and I just want to say thank you for being a part of it. And I'll keep talking to you about it and inspiring you new ways to bring in your recycling. So thank you for everything you do.
All right, just one more thing. I'd like to invite Gary Crutchley up for probably something about the gardening club, right? Maybe.
Thanks. Sorry we're going on so long today. The Seeds of Spirit group will be meeting April 25th in the Peace Garden. We're going to be doing a succulent replanting education class and workshop. So we inherited these plants from someone. They need a little care. If you've gone out to the Peace Garden, you notice the new fences out there. It's a perfect time of year to make this beautiful even more. So I'm asking for people in the garden, in the Seeds of Spirit Club, to come and help. I know it may be a little work. I'll set up tables. I will provide the soil. I'll make it easy as you can. All you need to do is bring your gloves, and we'll have a lot of fun. It's also, from 11 to 2, we'll be doing it. And I know that the hiking club is also that day, so I apologize for that. But generally, hikers aren't gardeners at the same time. So, thanks.
Again, that's all that I got.
Well, you can't say that CSLTV is not a happening place. There is wonderful. Aren't we impressive? We have so many different volunteers, so many different people doing so many great things. What a blessing for our community. Thank you to all of you. Okay, now, this is what we're going to be doing next. We're going to be having a moment of prayer, followed by our closing song, very meaningful, putting out our intent, knowing that there will be manifestation when we sing, "Let There Be Peace on Earth." So I am going to invite Beth back so that she can do our prayer. Like to invite our practitioners to stand. Our practitioners are here to support you. The prayer chairs are right outside. There'll be practitioners sitting there, and you are welcome to come, and they will pray with you if there's something you would like to discuss, or maybe just set up some intentions. So, Beth?
So together, let's take a breath in, and on the inhale, just connect. Just turn within and connect to that presence, to that never-ending reminder that there is a presence within. It is the source of love. It is the source of courage. It is the source of compassion. It is the source of joy. And it lives right in the center of each one of us. And so by connecting and allowing it to both be felt and to be heard, it is with that knowing that I know all is well, for God is here. And so it is. We shall now sing. Ing.
Let